You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
What's up, y'all? Good morning. How everybody's doing? It is your girl, your diva in knowledge, Lady Mocha, represent Mocha's Lounge. Wanted to do this segment called My Intake, Mocha's Intake, which basically is going to consist of me doing my own intake, my own perspective as far as to certain reviews on the show, and predominantly Love and Marriage in Huntsville. The most recent episode, Houston, we have a Kiki. So I normally, like I said, I do not watch this show. It's very draining. And watching it this morning let me know the reason that I stopped watching it. But nevertheless, I watched it because I had a subscriber come on my comment section and said that they really wanted to know my intake on the last episode when Kiki showed up to Nell Fletcher's, I guess she called herself trying to put together rebuilding some type of therapeutic type of gathering in which everyone can come together and pretty much rebuild, rehash, or try to work out personal issues within themselves and amongst each other. So she called herself putting together like a building team group in which everybody can come together and try to work out their differences. So I mean, I guess the concept of it is good within itself, but let's just be honest, everybody does not have the maturity or integrity to be able to face their issues with people in a more civil manner, specifically Martell in this case, but we'll get to that as this content goes on. But nevertheless, I was watching it, and I thought it was very interesting. Of course, we had Mel, we had the Fletchers there. Nell Fletcher was the one hosting it. Marceau and Tissue and Kimmy and Maurice and Courtney and what's the child name? Stormy. So anyway, you have all these couples here. And of course, Martell was there, and I'm like, I really have to give my hats off to Mel. Mel is definitely a woman of God. She has the strength of Goliath, because there's just no way I can keep filming and being in the presence of a man who has tried everything to destroy me. Being in the presence of Martell is basically like being in the presence of Satan. I have to commend Mel really to still have the strength to film with him, to be around him, to be participating in functions with him there. It's just really a lot, honey, because I really feel like when a man went all out of his way to do everything to destroy you, it comes a point in which you are willing to do whatever it takes to preserve and protect your peace. So I give Mel much respect, because everything that man has done and is still doing is is just very draining to the spirit. But anyway, getting back to the commentary, basically what ended up happening during this group building um, session, they had them doing different. Well, Nail had them doing different, you know, type of group activities, starting with the one pertaining to trust, in which each person had to literally fall back and trust that the person behind them would catch them. And basically, the purpose of that activity is to see if a person trusts the other person enough to where they're willing to put their safety in jeopardy by falling back and knowing this person was going to catch them and have their best interest. So, pretty much everybody takes turns doing the catching and the falling back. Tisha struggled at first with falling back, allowing Stormy to catch her, but she eventually gave in. Um, of course, Melody did not fall back so Martell could catch her, and we know very, very well the reason why she does not trust him. And I definitely wouldn't trust him. Period. Point blank. After everything that he's done, Martell is the biggest snake of snakes. He is King Cobra. He is an anaconda. And I'm not talking about his, penis size. I'm talking about um, the level of being a snake. He's one of the biggest snakes of the snakes, which is why I consider him an anaconda when it comes to him being a masked, skilled, professional serpent. And she did not fall back. And then when the roles reversed and it was his turn to fall back, she did not catch him either. And he has the audacity to say, well, he knew, that she wasn't going to catch him. And of course, when he stood there, he said, okay, remember, I'm your child's father, your children's father, as if that was going to be enough, you know what I mean, to make her change her mind and catch him. And then, of course, when she went catch him, he goes on a confession camera and says, well, I'm sure if other people probably wouldn't have been there, she would have did it. But because she doesn't want to appear weak and she doesn't want to appear like, she's, being soft for him, she basically, would not catch him. But I personally believe she would not have caught him, even if it was just him and her. And for very good reason, he's done a lot of messed up things to her and is still doing messed up things to her. So then the guys take turns, of course. Courtney falls back. Martell could catch him and all of that. So, the guys are pretty much, guys don't get emotional like women. So if there is beef or there is issues, they can pretty much get past it. But anyway, while all of this is going on, the energy seems to be pretty civil for the most part. Out of the blue, Kiki shows up. And you can tell this pretty much changes the whole temperature in the room, especially for Tissue and Marceau. And of course, Kiki's coming up in there like, hey, I'm here and all of that. So Tisha automatically gets in her feelings. Her energy is totally thrown off. And basically, at this point, Nail, let's it be clear, she announces that she allowed Kiki to come against her better judgment, because she definitely felt like, I guess, this would be a good opportunity for them to, like, hash out their issues. But at the same time, she did insist that she did not think it was the best um, you know, decision. But I'm like, okay, you already was aware, even though you may not have knew the depth of it, but you already knew Kiki coming was not going to be a good look. I don't know if this was a production move and she trying to act like she knew this wasn't going to be a good idea, but at the same time she trying to save herself. I really believe like a lot of these reality shows have these individuals making decisions against their better judgment, but get to make the show more interesting, to add that extra hot sauce, that drama to the show, I do believe that she probably made that decision on the strength that production probably insisted for her to, um, permit for Kiki to be there. A lot of reality stars have, admitted later on when it was no longer filming that they had to make a lot of decisions based on production. Not something they wanted to do, but because, the other people needed more camera time or needed a more filling storyline, sometimes people are coerced into doing things that they normally would not do. So I don't know if that was the case for Nell. But anyway, Kiki came, and of course, Tisha's whole confidence level is shot down because you have to remember the last time they seen each other, Kiki threw a drink in her face, and of course, anybody assaults you like that, you definitely do not want to be anywhere near them. It puts you in a bad space. It brings you in a negative. It puts you in a it brings negative energy basically. So I'm not a fan of Tisha, but at the same time, if it were me, I definitely would be feeling some type of way. Truth be told, even though I'm not a fan of hers and I still don't like Tisha, but that's besides the point. No matter how mad you get with somebody, no matter how much y'all disagree and may not be on the same alignment with how y'all perceive a situation, it does not make it right for another grown woman to throw a drink in your face, especially when that person did not threaten you and they did not throw something at you first. So Kiki, she got to take the L on that. But anyway, she came. So at this point, Tisha Marceau is trying to find out why she here, and of course, Tisha automatically felt that male Melody has something to do with it. So she's getting bent out of shape about Kiki being there, and of course Kiki first decides to give this apology. Was it sincere? Maybe for her that's as sincere as that was going to get. A lot of times when people apologize, we look for this heartfelt, tears water not the eyes, but everybody's sincerity doesn't display the same. But anyway, Nell gives her the floor, gives Kiki the floor, and Kiki goes to each one and starts off with the you know Kimmy and Maurice, and she apologized to them about the fact that it was their moment, and Kimmy had just was had gotten through her situation with the cancer or whatever. So she apologized to them on the strength of that was not the time, not the place. That was y'all day. It was supposed to be about Kimmy, and I shouldn't have brought that energy that particular time. I should have did it on that day. And of course, we know that Kimmy is Team Scott all the way. In the very beginning, Kimmy used to be mutual. She did not allow Tisha, Maurice, and Marceau to sway her feelings. She was always on, I'ma stand on what's right. Got nothing to do with who family, who ain't. That used to be the old Kimmy. But Kimmy might have experienced the wrath of the Scots going against the grain. So now Kimmy all of a sudden is always Team Scott. Whether if Scott is right or wrong, she does not want any problems with the Scots, being that is her husband and her husband's family. But me personally, listen, I love my husband too, but at the same time, and I'm cool with my in-laws, but if I'm seeing somebody get out of pocket, I'm not going to defend them just because that is my husband's people. When you wrong, you wrong. When you right, you right. And I'm all for standing for what's right. But you got some women that are like that. They know their husbands done robbed the bank, and they'll sit up there and act like, oh, that's not my husband. He would never do such a thing. So we know that Kimmy is definitely part of the snake pit, meaning the Scots. So of course she replies and says, well, apology is, is okay, I guess, but however, you wait till a month later. Why wait till now? Why you didn't do it then? And I'm like, that this is what kills me with some women. you know, uh, People just blow me sometimes. Sometimes to me, I'd rather somebody give me a slow, genuine apology because they don't have time to process it. They don't have time to reason with their wrong in the situation. So when a person comes back to me like a couple of months down the line, it lets me know the whole time they were really thinking about it. That's how I would look at it. They was thinking about it. They gave it time, and they really realized they was wrong. Cause some people won't even goddamn come back to apologize. They'll take they wrong and be strong in it. Yeah, I did it, and okay. So of course Kimmy had to do the most. You know what I mean? Like I said, she's part of the snake pit, which is the Scots, and you can't expect nothing but that coming from Kimmy. Then of course she goes to Kiki apologizes to Marceau and Tisha. And of course, Tisha, at the time, after like she accepted it and she was okay with it. And she was like, okay. And I kind of knew then she didn't accept it like that because Tisha does not accept apologies quickly like that. And of course, she said one thing, but then she turned around and walked off and went in the kitchen and started crying. And of course, Marceau goes after her. And Marceau, went to asking, what's the problem, what's going on. And of course, she was like, I feel portrayed. Instead of betrayed, I feel portrayed. Um, Caramel brought that up too when she was talking about that. And I peeped it too. I peeped it too, Mel. I peeped it too, honey. Portrayed, not betrayed. Portrayed. Girl, listen. The public, I don't know. The Alabama public school system has definitely failed y'all because the pronunciation between Miss Wanda and Tisha, honey, I just can't. mm. I'm drinking my peppermint mocha hot chocolate, y'all. So if I'm pausing in between, that's why. So basically, Tisha starts, whimpering to Marceau and saying how, she did not expect for Kiki to be here. She felt portrayed, which she meant to say was betrayed, and she felt like Melody was in on it. Cause Melody and Kiki always been kind of cool and stuff like that. So, of course, Marceau, pulls Mel to the side or whatever and asks Mel if she knew about what Kiki coming, and she said, "No, I did not know absolutely nothing about Kiki coming." Now, the ironic part was Mel, I'm sure, did not know if Kiki was officially coming or not, but just the fact that she suggested it. And don't get me wrong, Mel is my girl. I love me some Mel, but at the same time, I'm side eyeing Mel because I'm like, Kiki and Tisha cannot be in the same room. So for you to suggest to Kiki, hey, reach out to Nell and see if Nell would be willing to invite you, to this therapy group session, So just to suggest it, I don't think that was good judgment on Mel's behalf. However, Mel probably really, really wanted Kiki and Tisha to get past their differences, so that way she can genuinely be friends with the both of them without feeling like she has to pick a side. So she could have had good intentions, not certain or whatever, but just the fact she suggested it was not a good idea. But keep in mind, Mr. Fletcher, he came in the kitchen as well because he did indeed, he came to check on Tisha and Marceau because he did indeed tell Nell, his wife, I don't think that's a good idea. So at this point, Nell is seen as kind of backfiring. And Melody did explain to Tisha that, hey, I don't want you to think I had anything to do with that. I did not know Kiki was coming because, it took um, Tisha and Melody a lot to get to where they are as far as being civil. It was a lot of cattiness and a lot of drama that was constantly being brewed between the both of them. So I think they both are trying to stay in a good place as much as possible because they don't want to go back to that level of animosity, and I think that both of them like where they are with each other. I don't think neither one of them genuinely want to get back into that ugly space. And I felt that's why Mel felt it was very imperative that she cleared that. And much to my surprise, Tisha did accept Mel's you know, her explanation right away. She didn't do the interrogation as she normally would do. Well, why would you say anything? Why you knew she was here and you acting surprised? You know, I'm just surprised that Tisha really let it go that easily, because that's not like Tisha. Tisha, you know, when it comes to Mel, Tisha wants an all out war, honey. She wants an all out war. She wants to really get down and have a drag out session. So of course Nell comes into the kitchen as well and explains, you know, she's straddling the fence a little bit. You know, I didn't, you, I didn't, you know, I thought this would be a good idea, and you know, something kind of told me not to do this, but you know, I thought I was doing a good thing. So she's basically she's regretting bringing Kiki there, you know. So eventually, at some point in the show, Nell ends up confronting Kiki, saying she thinks it's best that she doesn't stay to the house, being that Tisha and you know, everybody's not comfortable with the dynamics. Now, of course, Kiki feels some type of way, like, look, shit, I don't apologize. I done did my part. I can't make them receive my genuineness no further. I can only apologize, and it's up to them how they receive it. But I don't think it's right for me to have to leave or have to go because, you know, they're not willing to receive it. You know, my sincerity. You know what I mean? So at this point, it's just you can just tell it's putting a dampening. It's putting a dampening on the group getting together with Kiki being there. But nevertheless, you know, after that, they still decided to go to this, I think, like this this horse riding resort or whatever, in which, you know, it not only provides, you know, people to be able to horseback on, you know, be able to go riding on the horses, but it's also like a therapeutic like type of resort in which, you know, the group could come together with the psychologists and therapists that are also there at the resort. So, which I think is a good thing. I think, you know, we don't have enough of black people who like to see therapy, who like to go to places in which they can get some mental clarity on things. So I thought that was pretty good for the most part. Something I would actually be interested in doing myself. So anyway, you know, everybody's there, and Mel is taken back a little bit, um, simply because, you know, the lady, one of the psychologists said that this was a couples, like a couples get together, like a couples therapy. And, you know, our girl Mel is like, this ain't no damn couples thing. I'm not here with nobody. I'm not here with Martell. He's not my man. Couples. No, I thought this was just a regular horseback riding. I ain't feeling no word couples. Um, Righteously so. But anyway, all of them get a horse and go horseback ride, and everything's going good. Everybody seems to be enjoying themselves, despite Kiki, who also came to that. You know, they was not feeling that at all. So, of course, you know, Tisha again decides to be the bigger person and say, okay, she's here, but I'm just gonna ignore her and act like I don't see her, and act like, you know, she's not there. I'm not going to allow her energy to throw off my energy. So anyway, after that, they decide to head on back to the house. So, um, at this point, it gets interesting, and this is probably the part that I'm going to play just a little bit, because I want y'all to hear how your boy Martell was acting, and he was doing the most. Now, keep in mind as I'm playing this, I'm going to be saying, I'm going to have to interrupt and say fair use. I'm going to be coming in from time to time, because if I let it just play straight out, it could bring a copyright, to my channel. So I got to butt in a little bit to change the wording. You get what I'm saying? So just kind of bear with me on that. I'm gonna be pausing in between because I just want y'all to to hear the mindset coming from a narcissist, Martell, as to how he really tries to flip this thing. And I said, oh my God, this is the reason why I stopped watching the show, man, because I just can't take Martell being able to get away with stirring the pot and nobody really calls him out on it. But anyway, I'm gonna get ready to go ahead on and play that. And like I said, I'm gonna be interjecting from time to time, but I really want y'all to hear this dude and how he really tries to flip this.
Mel, did you cheat on him too? Please give me the goddamn answer. I'm sick of his ass.
Only time I talked to anybody was when I went with Martell no more, and I never went back. Next question.
That's it.
Y'all good?
Yeah, I asked her. Right on goddamn camera. Did she cheat on your ass? You good? You got that? You happy? You satisfied?
The camera. Now we talking about when you was coming for me, hurting me, and every little thing you do when it comes to my infidelity, it hurts me too, though. You know what I'm saying? All the stuff you say. Doing something for my face.
You know what? You're a typical ass narcissist. You know what?
Oh my God. Nell and Chris, they always talk about how, they don't take sides. But now here she is being disrespectful. And this is like a point of her taking Melody's side because she's always pointing the finger and make like, Martell, you destroyed your family. You cheated.
Now, as you can see, how this derailed from Martell all of a suddenly bringing up the fact that Melody cheated on him when the conversation had nothing to do with him. Melody and Marceau was talking about issues that she shared with Marceau in the past about what was going on between her and Martell, because Martell was going around telling his version, and Mel wanted to make it clear there was more than one thing to just what Martell was saying, that she needed to explain her side. So Marceau was saying, he did indeed have to hear Melody out, because everybody knows it can't just be no one side to why our marriage failed. And that's when things pretty much kind of went left, because he is angry with the fact that people are empathizing and sympathizing with Mel. So what he's trying to do is spin the narrative like y'all are empathizing and sympathizing with her, but y'all are not realizing the things that she's done to me. Everybody is so fixated on what I did and how I cheated, but what y'all are not understanding is she cheated too, because what he's trying to insinuate is that all the times when Melody was leaving the house, being that she was doing everything, being a mother, running all these businesses and stuff, she would rent a room from time to time so she can woosah and have some time for herself. He's trying to insinuate that, no, those were the times she was getting smashed by another man, that she wasn't even renting no room to woosah. She was renting a room so she can be with another man. So again, he's trying to gaslight and flip the narrative, because one thing about a cheater doesn't want to look bad by himself. You know, he wants to make sure the person he betrayed and cheated on, he wants them to take some fault. He wants them to take some blame. That way he doesn't wholeheartedly looks like the bad guy or the villain in the situation. So that's kind of what's pretty much going on
things
here.
Like that. No, that. Melody, she cheated too. I made no mistake in my marriage. You know what I'm saying? I did. She did. She cheated. I cheated.
Hold on, excuse me.
Fair use. Fair
Tell me when I
use.
cheated and with who and where?
The apartment.
The apartment? Let's talk about the apartment. In March of 2017, I found out that he had been cheating on me for at least 2 years at that time. Okay?
That's right. That's
Then
right.
I stayed with him. October, homecoming of A&M 2017, I caught him in the truck with his other baby mama.
Air-on, air mattress.
I left and got my own apartment in December. Moved out. He and I didn't get back together until about April 2018. Boom.
She got her
Okay,
dates
so look,
correct.
Let's go back before Martell cheated.
Here we go to deflecting.
Say, I'm going to the hotel
Yeah, let's
for
talk
2
about it.
days. She
Let's
used to do
talk
that
about it.
often. I'm like, okay, go. That's when things started changing. I'm like, damn, sex started changing. I started complaining. I complained for about a year before I stepped out. And
Here
again,
are the
as a
gaslighting.
man,
I started complaining before I stepped out. So in other words, I wasn't man enough to keep my dick in my pants or to try to resolve my issues with my wife. I made a decision to step out. Do y'all hear how pathetic he sounds? Do y'all hear how he's trying to justify putting his dick in another woman? This just goes to show, yes, Melody could not have done, I mean, the best decision she ever made was leaving his raggedy
what else
ass.
can you do?
But you did cheat first. You cheated.
Tell it, Stormy.
You cheated, but you
No.
cheated. Cheating was the
No.
Just because you don't find out anything,
What
just because you don't
happened?
know,
Found out that I
hold on,
was
just
doing
because you
before
don't
I
know
left
anything,
it.
that doesn't
What
mean somebody
happened?
is cheating.
So he trying to say, just because y'all don't know what Melody did, doesn't mean she's less innocent than me. Y'all are just siding with Melody because y'all don't know what Melody did. Y'all just looking at what I did. That's what he's saying.
When you go into a hotel for days and stuff like that, and
So everybody does
different, though.
what they need to do for their me time, for their calming down time. And now because you got caught cheating all these years, I was cheating. Man, get that out of here.
Because he don't want to be dirty by himself.
all the change behavior
My
behind
only
you
behavior
going to the
started
hotel.
changing because you was an ass. Still an ass.
Exactly, like she said, an asshole and still an asshole. Martell does not want to be wrong alone. He wants Mel to be wrong with him so bad. That way he can feel better about his fuckery, and it's not going to happen.
Mel is using time that we would agree for me to take as a mother, wife, business owner, just the
Of
time
course
to
she needed
still-
that time, wife, mother, business owner, because Martell wasn't doing shit. He wasn't being a man, helping her to handle anything. So, of course, she deserved that alone time because she was the one being the breadwinner and running the whole operation. She was the captain of the ship, unlike what Martell should have been.
I hate that he's trying to use that to make it seem as if I was meeting men at hotels. What a way to project. Projection is real.
That's exactly
'Cause we all know
projection
what you was doing.
and deflection.
Mel is not-
And keep it a buck. He's life-flecting, meaning he's lying and deflecting at the same time. He's life-flecting. He's doing both.
Never asked me to pick sides. You have.
This is Nell basically trying to make it clear to him that she's not choosing sides. But listen, when it comes to the narcissist, he's going to make your intentions look bad anyway, because at the end of the day, he's trying to take the heat off of him, and he wants to make everybody else feel bad. Let's continue.
She can
Let me finish, please.
if she's up here digging a grave for me and y'all supporting her, y'all gonna tell her to pick sides. If you gonna be coming to my house, wanna be my friend, she's gonna behind y'all's back, my back, that. Trying to
Ooh, he's so mad, y'all. He's so mad that Mel don't want him. He's screaming and acting like a female. He's acting like an angry black woman. He's on some acrimony to Roger P. Henson, y'all.
Martell has never asked us to pick a side. He has said right is right and wrong is wrong.
That's it.
I
If
admit
I do
some things.
That's all he needed. That's all he needed. Tissue fed into the narcissistic. He just wanted somebody to agree with something. Because again, the narcissist does not want to be wrong alone. And again, I'm gonna keep interjecting to keep the copyright to a minimum. So y'all just got to bear with me. I cannot play the whole thing straight on out.
She said she just told you she cheated. We were still married when she went to the apartment. We were still married when she went to the apartment.
They was not. She was not with you, bro.
We didn't. Hold on. We still married.
I'm not going to counsel two people.
Of course I should not have. I know. You're right. I should not.
Like Stormy had to realign him and said, but you shouldn't have cheated. You shouldn't have cheated. He's still trying to flip this whole ordeal. He's not going to take accountability. But I'm glad Stormy realigned him back to the reality that you cheated. He's trying to run with that one narrative because she did say she had an encounter, but it was after. They were not married, they was not together, and she felt like at that point in time they was through. Martell, you on the other hand, as far as you knew, your marriage wasn't through. You was going to always have your wife in your marriage, and yet you still stepped out there with Arion air mattress. So what difference does it make? Let's say if Mel would have stepped out on you, you had already beat her to the punch, and you didn't have no intentions on leaving Melody. You're actually mad because even if you felt like Melody did something, which she broke down the dates, she was very thorough, she was very precise, and she proved her claim that she did not cheat. That was not going to stop you from cheating anyway. You still was going to do what you was doing. You still was clapping Arion air mattress cheeks. So you need to miss me with that. But let's go home. Fair use. He don't want to be wrong alone.
Everything after that is hold on, listen to this. Question. Once one spouse cheats, everything after that is fair game.
Yeah, if it feel like it's done. If it feel like it's done, yeah. What I heard her say was,
so what Kimmy was trying to reiterate was basically saying, so being the fact that Martell cheated, if Melody cheated, being that he started it, that means it's fair game. In other words, she had any right at that point to do what she wanted to do. And like Stormy said, exactly, once you set that tone, you no longer get to decide how the ball rolls from there. And that's Martell's problem. He wants to do what he wants to do, but he does not think it needs to be any repercussion behind his actions. And Mel showed him different.
she moved out because she thought it was going to be done.
No, we never talked about divorce
Man,
or
I
anything.
talked to 5 attorneys already trying to get them paid.
No, we never talked about divorce. No, because you didn't think she was never going to divorce you. That's why you didn't feel the need to talk about it. But Melody already made up in her mind she was done.
Are you kidding me? You thought I just moved out for fun? When I first found out about Martell cheating in March of 2017,
Fair use.
I moved out, started talking to attorneys about what, divorce would look like, what
That's
my steps were. I went out on a few dates, right? But I thought my marriage was over. I know for a fact that he gets excited when it seems like things aren't going well for me. And I think that's because that makes him feel like if she doesn't
Fair
do
use.
well, she'll come back. If she can't provide for herself, she'll come back. So Melody is not coming back.
And he's upset about that, and Melody read it right. He was really hoping and praying for Mel to fail, because he felt like as soon as she failed, she'd be like, you know what, I realize I need my husband, I can't make it without him. The proof was in the pudding, and the longer this goes on, the more it infuriates Martell, because he's really hoping that Mel will break, and it has not happened.
Mel has been evil to us, so I picked Martell's side from the beginning.
What was I doing? What was I doing that was evil to you?
Now this Marceau. Of course, but y'all got to realize, of course, a lot of people took Martell's side because he's very convincing. He knows how to make people like a villain if you don't know him. So I'm not really mad that a lot of people was really kind of going with Martell, because he's very, very convincing. He really knows how to make a person look bad until you get to know him. Now, all of us who have been following them for years, seeing how Martell is, we know he was always the problem for the beginning. And Marceau, them, I'm sure, knows that too.
Since me and this joker ain't been together, I've been checking for y'all. So watch this. So hear me. Since he and I haven't been together,
Fair
I've been checking
use.
for y'all. So guess what?
I agree.
He did to me the same thing he's doing now. He puts batteries in people's backs. And
That's
I
right.
told you in there, I did not know Kiki was. I didn't know Nell had talked to her.
And that right there in this kitchen, she felt betrayed. She felt that you guys, you and Neil and everybody stood on that. So I think that's worth a conversation.
I'm glad you told me though that Tisha felt like that, because I have a convo with her privately.
Fair
to let
use.
her know that one day.
For entertainment purpose.
Right.
Bottom.
Right.
Only thing you can do is be consistent.
All right, I'm gonna try to chat with her. It was imperative for me to make it clear that I did not make that call to invite Kiki to
And she
Houston.
did not. Nell made that call.
We just had a little dinner thing. Nell and Chris, they're hosting like a trip to Houston. I'm willing to see you.
So I'm gonna scroll past that little part, because I already told you she's gonna talk to Tisha. They're gonna hash it out, and they're gonna keep it moving. So I'm not gonna go all into that, but I just wanted y'all to hear how Martell was really trying to turn it up a notch.
I don't want you to think that. Because I would do that.
Thank you for that, because when Mel said, you know, when she talked to Mel, and Mel was
Okay, I'm
making
fast forwarding.
decisions, I'm still trying to build my relationship with you. She's not staying. I apologize, Tish.
So Nell realizes the heat is getting too bad, and she's trying to get Kiki. She done already decided she needs to remove Kiki out.
I invited Kiki to Houston against my intuition, really because I had a soft spot for her. Unfortunately, Fletcher was right. I actually should have spoken with
Child,
Letitia.
by that was bringing fire to gasoline.
Tish, I just had to talk to them in private, and it's a smack in the face from me. I told you I will allow you to come here, but if the house was divided, I'll have to send you away. Unfortunately, you're not going to be able to stay.
Okay, and that's that. So
I'm not saying that anyways. That's easy.
I just can't.
That's fine. I'm not staying in the house. You ain't got to.
fair use for entertainment purposes only.
Anyone to dictate whether I, especially not them, where I can and can't go.
Well, this is the energy I didn't want. So now it seems like that energy is here. We all finna be divided again, and we can't move forward like that.
Can I ask you something, Miss Nell? You said you talked to Tisha. Did she tell you it was a no?
Pretty much.
Hey, Mel, do you remember when you were having some issues and you didn't want to be around people?
I mean, I'm not saying y'all are wrong at all. I'm just wondering how, because she's saying she's taking it. Y'all wanted she had that come
I'm
up.
saying you as a friend.
Yeah.
That's a violation to me.
What is? What's the violation to you?
If you knew about this and you
If I knew about
Okay, so at this point, y'all, as I was saying earlier before, Marceau felt like Melody knew Kiki was coming. And what Marceau was trying to indicate is, look, you know what it's like when people are bringing somebody around that you're not comfortable with and you don't want to be around. And it's making Mel look like, why are you saying this? Basically, Marceau has the indication that Melody played a part in Kiki coming there. And this is where Melody's going to clear herself and said, nah, I ain't had nothing to do with this. You get what I'm saying? So for whatever reason, people still feel like Melody is out to get Tisha. And she's going to clarify and make it clear that she had nothing to do with it.
I didn't know Kiki was coming here.
She did
My
not
thing
know.
is that just like we have our conversations and I say, hey, I didn't see all of that was happening, right?
Yep.
And I didn't see all of that. You guys get that same one story. You guys get that same one side of the situation.
Ooh, now this going to piss Martell.
It ain't pertaining to me, is it?
Yeah, I think that part of what we went through, the Mel versus Martell comes back around, and we have exactly one side of a story.
So y'all
Entertainment
believed Martell with the things he said to y'all.
Okay, this one that grits hit the fan now. This was the part I kind of was a little choppy on. That's why I got to play this stuff as I go. It's just too much to try to damn remember with this foolishness. So anyway, when Marceau basically said to Mel, you know, that's why I needed to get, in other words, he was insinuating I needed to get clarification from you because, you know, again, they felt like Melody had ill intentions that had something to do with it. And she's clarifying she didn't have no reason. She had nothing to do with Kiki coming there. So that's when Marceau goes and says, well, you know, I realize, you know, in but so many words, that's why you have to get both sides of the story, because even when you was with Martell, we only heard Martell's version and we never got your version. So basically Marceau is just using Melody and Martell's situation, which he should have known that the narcissist was going to feel some type of way. But Marceau used their situation to imply to this situation that, yes, sometimes it's better to get both sides of the story versus having just one version. Now, you know, this is pissing Martell off because Martell does not want to hear nothing about getting two sides of the story when it comes to him and Melody. He only wants everybody to believe his side. Now, watch how the temperature in the room turns all the way up with Martell because Marceau said that.
But what I'm saying is this,
What then?
I'm what? There's two sides.
He mad, y'all.
What was said then? What was said to you
You want
about her
Okay, so Martell mad that Martell is upset that Melody and Marceau had a conversation about the shit he did. Whoa, whoa. Remember, the narcissist does not want nobody talking about him, but he wants to be the one to do all the talking.
Hey, if you want to, what you just said, only two of us know the answer. All right. So if you really want to get it straight out of the Rogers mouth.
And like Marceau said, which I agree with that. No, I'm not going there with you. If you want to find out what she told me, you go talk to Rod. You go talk to Melody yourself. That's between the both of y'all. You want to find out, you ask her. I'm not going back and forth and letting you know what Melody told me. Thank you.
This is serious for me. I really wish y'all could get in a good space. I am trying to build my relationship with your cousin. I'm very straightforward. I personally don't have anything against you. I also have to respect.
So Nell is basically telling Kiki, get your ass up out of there.
No, I'm just saying, like, all y'all Rogers fans, I hate that. That's what all y'all.
We still team building?
Everything that went left. My son, did you?
So Martell is mad. See, this is what's pissing me off. Y'all all are Rogers fans. Y'all all are standing by Rogers. Okay, so it's fine as long as they are joining forces with you to attack Mel, to beat Mel down, to sabotage Mel's name. It's okay for everybody to be on messy Martell bandwagon, but because people are willing to see both sides and not just your side, you mad about that. Bro, this is a true definition of a narcissist. If you look, listen, they need to put Wikipedia needs to put the word narcissist and put a big ass photo of Martell right next to it, because that's exactly, if narcissist was a person, he fits the perfect description.
Mel, what did she do?
No. I'm not trying to get into this. Where are these people?
What you
So Tisha tried to feed into the narcissist again, but we don't know what Melody did. See, that's all he needed, was that extra little boost. See, that's what I'm talking about. Stop feeding into the narcissist.
No, you two, no, you ain't Chris too. He told me.
Martell arguing with Nell now.
Even you told me. The questions you guys asked about Martell. What did Martell do wrong? You never say, Melody, did you ever cheat on Martell? Did you ever do anything to Martell?
This ninja. I'm surprised Nell's husband let him stand there and yell at her like that. Fair use. You only against Martell when you not kissing his behind and you not seeing his point of view. So he's taking all that energy, negative energy, and he's projecting it onto Nell by yelling at her, screaming at her, because Nell can relate more to Melody because she's been there and done that. So he's angry and infuriated by that. And now the narcissist has transferred his toxic energy to Nell.
Hell, and it's okay. It's 3 years. I'm cool with it. I've apologized. I've accepted my. It's okay.
Oh my gosh.
I'm talking about you. I'm talking about Chris. I'm talking about Marceau.
Well, hold their ass accountable.
He mad with everybody.
Exactly.
Girl, you can't talk to him. Can't get nowhere with him. Martell is a piece of work. If you don't know how to handle a narcissist, they will take you totally out of your character. They will have you screaming, yelling, making you think you crazy. See how he's trying to flip it on Nell like she's the crazy one, something is wrong with her. You have to not fall into the game of the narcissist. This is what they do.
With this damn dude, I have him in fletcher fighting. What's wrong? I will bust my tail in his mother face.
A narcissist will make you want to fight them, for real.
His thing is, it's like, everybody keep coming for him, keep coming for him. He's like, Mel has never admitted to being wrong in anything.
That's what he wants y'all to believe. He wants y'all to believe everybody beating on him, everybody yelling at him, everybody against him. Poor Martell. Poor messy Martell. Everybody just doing me so wrong. True narcissist.
I won't hold you accountable for cheating. I won't ask you about your cheating. You cheated on him too.
Fair use.
Cheated on him too.
The devil is a lie. He don't want to be wrong alone. He wants Melody to drown with him, and it's not going to happen. We're going to continue with this. I'm waiting for these little bit of commercial to go by or whatever, but that's basically what he's doing, y'all. Anybody who's not Team Martell, he's going to try to make you feel bad and make you feel like you are against him. He's not strong enough, he's not confident enough to deal with Melody head on. He needs to recruit a whole team. He needs people to join in and help attack Mel. And basically that's what's going on.
Even wanted now.
Okay, so I'm going to leave it at that. But basically that's what was going on. Is that, you know, all it took was Marceau to bring up their marriage as an example as to why it's important to listen to both sides. And I don't think Martell knew that Marceau had spoken with Mel, so he's pissed because now that takes away the upper hand he thought he had. He thought he had everybody just believing him, that he wasn't the only one cheating. Melody was cheating alone, and this is what Martell's not understanding. Even if Melody did, your actions will always stand out more than anything Melody's ever done, and that's the only reason why Martell keeps pumping it up and pumping it up and pumping it up and screaming and yelling, because his wrongdoing is so strong and bold. He can't even erase it, because he actually created a little Chucky out of his situation. He created a little helmet. So his actions are going to always stand out the most. And what he's trying to do is he's trying to do damage control by making it seem like Melody did just as much as he did. But what he's not understanding, it does not matter with what he comes up with, what he does. He was the one who had a child. Melody did not. Even if Melody cheated, there's no evidence, and he knows that his wrong is more strong than Melody's, and he doesn't really have nothing to fight with. He doesn't have no real defense. So again, the only thing he can do is to get everybody to side with him and everybody to go against Mel. That way he can kind of lessen his wrongdoing, but it's never going to work, because again, he created a whole child. And then on top of that, the angry bird who he created the child from has been telling all of their business, has been airing out the whole time he's been smashing him throughout several years within the marriage. So he would never ever be able to make Melody's wrongdoing as bad as his. It's not going to work. And the moment he feels like he's drowning, and he feels like he's losing, because everybody is empathizing with Melody too, and he needed everybody to only side with him. Not only that, what's really making him angry is he already knows Melody is never coming back. So when a person knows that they have officially lost you, they have nothing else to lose by trying to destroy you. He knows Melody's not coming back. He knows he'll never get his marriage. He knows he'll never have his family again. So a loser who feels like they're losing, they have nothing to lose by trying to destroy you, by trying to take you down. And that's basically what it boils down to, y'all. So this was my overall intake on this whole episode, is that Kiki and Tisha, they would never be on the same accord. Marceau makes that very clear towards the end when they have their little group sitting, that because like Nell says, some things you have to give it time, and what Marceau said, you have to realize time has already given itself. there is no hopes of reconciliation. I'm not a fan of Marceau, but I feel him on that part, because I'm in a situation right now in which I have a family member who really got out of pocket, said some disrespectful things to me in the heat of the moment, and now that they have had time to process what they said and did, they want to try to make things right and reconcile and act like things never happened. But me personally, once a person has spoken their mind, even out of anger, it makes me look at you different. The energy is just different, and I've already made an oath to myself that I can never have that relationship I had once upon a time with this person, because in the back of my mind, it's going to always be unsettling with me because of the things you said. And what people have to realize is sometimes when you put certain things out there, you cannot take it back. An apology can't always correct some things. Now, it does, it's a start, but it does not mean, an apology does not necessarily have to open a door for reconnection. You can apologize and be civil, but it does not mean rebuilding, reconnecting, and rehashing. To me, once a person has showed me their right hand, I'm not going to stick around and wait for their left hand. In the words of Maya Angelou, once a person show you for who they are, believe them. And I do believe Kiki. I believe that Tisha did some funny, funky, foul things to her too. Now, we seen the ugly part where Kiki threw the drink on her, but we don't know all of the things that Tisha has done undercoverly to sabotage Kiki. Like I said, it's always the person who does who does something loud for some reason. They look like the bad guy. It's like, it's just, as the saying goes, people look at how crazy you are, but they don't look at what the person did to provoke you to get that crazy. I'm not saying Kiki was right, but based on what we've seen with Tisha and the way she's handled Melody, even though they're in a good place, Tisha's the kind of person, she's an undercover snake. She not gonna do stuff loud for you to see it. And people like that, unless you're in God, they will provoke you and take you out of your character to where you will want to hurt them. So I could kind of see where Kiki coming from. I know people like that who know how to do dirty shit low key, where nobody won't notice it, but the person that the damage is being done to, they notice it. But to everybody else outside the situation who don't know it, they looking at you as the crazy person when you react. A lot of times people look at your reaction. They don't look at the things that built up to that point. So anyway, y'all, that is my intake on love and marriage in Huntsville. This show is really draining. I really did not want to watch it, but only because one of y'all have reached out to me. So hopefully, I did my deed for today as one of your favorite content creators. Anyway, leave y'all comment below. Let me know what y'all think about this situation, and I'll be talking to y'all soon. And don't forget, I got my side chick sermons that's going to be coming up, so be on the lookout. Make sure y'all join the congregation for the good word. Take care. Hit that like button, y'all. Do not leave. Click that like button right now. Just click it, click it, click it. Click that like button before you leave. Talk to y'all soon. Take care.